Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of the Creative Series, and today what I'm going to be doing is adding on to the pavilion that I kind of got started in the last episode. So you can see here, I'm kind of improving the floor in the pavilion just because I wasn't completely happy with it. So, I'm filling it in with this white ring here, and I'm going to clear out these tough bricks in here as well in the circle. Yeah, so now I got all that cleared out. I'm going to kind of do this sort of like they go in a circle, like they kind of spiral the motion of the white glazed terracotta, and you can see that there. And I'll get a completed version of that on screen. So you can see I have this area cleared out here, and this is kind of where I'm going to be doing the project at. Alright, so I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to try and expand this idea out this way. I think there could be some interesting interactions with what's going on with like this body of water here. So yeah, I'm gonna kind of use the ideas that I started here to I'm gonna kind of modify them and use them to kind of create like an axis of some kind. And I think that could be interesting because there's some pretty, I guess, universal ideas that are conveyed by this, like the archway, the dome, and the pillar. So those are going to be kind of the elements I'm going to use to make this. So I'll tell you what I might start out with is I might just kind of get like a standardized archway that I can kind of work from. So I think I'm gonna kind of steal my own design here. Copy, then rotate 90, paste. Let's see what that does. Yeah, I definitely got some ironing out to do, and to be honest, I'm not completely sold on that. So maybe we won't do copy paste with just that. Maybe I'll kind of let this pavilion kind of remain its own thing a little bit. I'll kind of play off of it and use that to create that standardized system that I want. Right, and then I have this little dot in the middle. Maybe I'll do like that. Just a dot, not a lot. That's what my art teacher used to say whenever we were gluing things. Maybe I'll even just leave this pavilion detached. Detachment gives these things a certain amount of importance. Red in the middle. I gotta make sure to preserve that kind of datum line as well, to be able to kind of recognize from all angles. I know these kind of have different sides, and kind of intersects with the interior of that, so you don't really get to see all sides of the pillar. But these are going to be a little bit different. But still, I want to carry a lot of ideas that were already present, just to kind of create cohesion. Little dot up here, so I'll keep that little dot up there, and this is the top, the very top part, with a couple differences. It does kind of flare out at the top. Maybe I want this to flare out at the top too. So maybe I have it do something a little more like this. And maybe I'll just kind of do that just to kind of smooth it out just a little bit. Something a little more like that. Though now the pillar does seem a little bit top heavy. So maybe I'll beef up the base just a little bit. And it does kind of poke out here too, so that's still following what I was doing originally. So maybe I beefed this up on the bottom. Yeah, that kind of gives it a base a little bit. I prefer that design, I think. Do 1, 2, 3, 4, like that maybe. So now it's a 9 gap between pillars. But maybe I want to keep the archways on this line here, just because I don't want these to kind of overwhelm this, because this is the main, the main attraction. So I'll keep these. I'm going to do our little arches or something. I'm going to do like an array of them. Well, maybe I don't want this top layer, just because this isn't going to be supporting any kind of freeze. So maybe I just chop it off right there, and that'd be alright. They're kind of stumpy capitals, but that might be okay. Of course, it doesn't make much sense for an archway not to be resting on top of a column, though, does it? Maybe we actually do want it up there, and then having it on top like that also gives us the opportunity to double them up. That still kind of does follow that datum, and since we don't have that top layer of the column there that the frieze would be on, it kind of gives us a chance to do this type of thing. Since we kind of doubled them up now we actually can slot in the glaze stuff that I wanted before. This is just kind of something I copy, I paste, and I mirror to create nice space. So it's about the quality of the parts, mostly. So you gotta make sure all the pieces have good quality, and it's also about the quality of the composition too. And now we have, oh, not quite. Cut off just a little bit. That's okay. I can do a little spot repair. That'll be alright. So now we're kind of getting a system that can be replicated, since it's on odds. Maybe I'll borrow this design. Just kind of slot it in the middle here. Just something like that, and then I take that, and I take the trap doors, and we do a little something along that lines, yeah. So I'll just do that one motif, and then I fill the rest in with just a plain red. Just plain red. And maybe I do a little bit of that terracotta style carvings as well. So just to give a little texture up here without drawing too much attention. But if you do decide to look at it, you still get rewarded for looking that way. The more I look at it, though, the more I think maybe I should just lower the tops of all these arches to match the top of this arch, and just forget all this datum semantics that I've been going on about. Maybe I just need to quit yapping. Let me just try something. Yeah, now the arches are all on the same level. They're kind of stumpy, but you look at it from a distance, and yeah, it's just better. It's just better like that. Let me make sure these are on the same level too. These are on. They should be on. Yep, they're on the same level. All right, and then I'll just take this little bottom bit here, and I'll just make that more of that. More of this stuff. I think think there is something still missing from the top though. So I'm gonna steal this top band as well. And I'll add these little dentals for texture, just since they're there as well. Oh man, those dentals really pop out on this side. I think that might have to do with just the block lighting. But yeah, I'm a big fan of that. You can see that, can't you? Like the undersides of these are, there's something that happened with the blocks that they're just darker than they are on this side. Despite the fact that, as far as I can tell, they're placed exactly the same. They really pop out on that side. Well, that's great. Alright, so now what I'm starting to do is I'm starting to make more rows of these things, and then I'm gonna kind of arch these over in the middles, so it'll kind of become like a vault system or something. And then this is where I'm gonna use the rotate command. So I'm gonna rotate 90 and paste. Looks like there's gonna be a little bit of cleanup I gotta do. There usually is with this type of stuff. Alright, so this is kind of my inside of the arches solution. So you can see I've just kind of got these almost sort of like mini partial pendentives, which is of course mimicking these larger ones, which are on the inside of the dome. And now what I've done is I've just replaced the floor with these bricks here that you can see, and I'm going to kind of be working with this to create some little gardens. We'll call these little irrigation gutters or something, but they also kind of pop things out a little bit design wise. So I'll just add these in here. Then in the middle of these, I just got these little grassy patches that I put in. Actually, instead of doing that, I think I'm going to put them in these corners, because I think you'd be able to walk through it a little better. It'd be a little less in the way. I kind of like that. Good, nice green spring colors. Flowers for Mother's Day. I think that will do well. And maybe we'll do a different kind of flower on these other parts, just so it's got some variety. And so now there's kind of a little bit of differentiation between each garden, just to keep things kind of interesting. Now things seem just a little bare up in here. Maybe I can add some like little trellises above or something. Maybe I'll just do one or two of those canopies. So maybe it'll just be like in the middle too or something. Maybe I also want to add in some of the cherry leaves up there, so it's almost like hanging wisteria or something like that. I think those are really beautiful plants. Yeah, I like that quite a bit. So now what I think I'm gonna do is add in some like lighting solutions, maybe like hanging lamps or something. So I've seen this done before, but you can see whenever you put them like that on the frog light, it makes a really nice pattern. So I think that's what I'm gonna kind of roll with. Kind of goes with these natural themes, and I don't know, I just think it fits into the gardens pretty well. I like how that turned out. You can also see that I've added in some little trees on the sides too. So it's, it's kind of an enclosed natural space of sorts. Copy, flip north, paste. There we go. Just like that, we've copied it right over to the other side, and it should be symmetrical with everything. So I think what I'm also going to do is I'm just going to slightly change the foliage on this mirrored side, just so, you know, you're encouraged to go through the places. It's not all the same, but you know, there's a little bit of difference, but it's all still in one cohesive space. So now we've got the side guys figured out. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna figure out like a paving system, some kind of paved area in between these that kind of creates like a little road up to here. And I want to have like a reflecting pool in the very middle. I think that'll be nice with benches for people to sit. Yeah, and then that kind of goes along with the curving nature of the archways as well. But now since we're kind of developing an outline here, now I can kind of start to think of where should I fit in the glazed terracotta. Yeah, so now it's kind of starting to get kind of interesting. I'm starting to kind of dig that pattern kind of coming out from that circle that I've created with the yellow. And now this kind of creates like almost like ripples or something, like things that are landing in bodies of water. Like, yeah, you see it comes out and like there's like these splash patterns of the yellow and blue, and they create like, you know, you can see these patterns kind of starting to emerge. Maybe I'll add just some very slight differences in here just so it doesn't get too boring. This natural kind of variation going on, which makes that, gives it more visual interest. Might even try and weaken some of the yellow bands on these because I copied a pretty strong yellow banded one. You can kind of notice that it is repetitive just a little bit. So I'm just going to kind of do what I did with the last one. Kind of just add a little bit of chaos to it, just a little bit, and you can kind of, it's like a lever, you pull it and it changes the whole mechanism. Yeah, now we have this really subtle kind of rippling water-like pattern, but then you have these, suddenly what pops out of it are these noticeable, tangible yellow sunflower circles, and you zoom out and you can see these ripples kind of coming out of them, and then they kind of collide with each other and it creates kind of this noise. So yeah, I'm happy with how that turned out. I might just cut this off here because I'm going to put something here in a future installment that I have yet to decide. We'll fill her up with water now. Yet another thing that World Edit is equipped for. So I'll do replace air water. Nice and easy. No buckets required. I guess another thing I should do. I keep thinking of things. I keep thinking of things I need to do. I need some benches. I need places for people to sit. Alright. Yeah. I'm very happy with how this project is developed. Well, I think I'm going to call that a wrap for now. I feel like I've made pretty good progress on it this time. I hope you all enjoyed. Maybe you learned something. Maybe you saw something you liked. If you did, of course there's a few buttons under the screen that need to be pressed. But otherwise, have a good day. Bye-bye.